And more Pegasus, going on more about, I'm assuming, the lawsuit with H3H3. It's the only thing I can think of.
Series so delicious. Even Willy Wonka subscribed. In today's video, Hasan is now shaming people for donating to charity. He's now telling his community to create artificial positive clips about him because his PR is so bad. He's once
Hasan. The more I learn about this guy, the more I just go, how are you able to have so many fans and make so much money doing what you do despite how wrong you are? It's a weird world we live in now.
once again pulling the Hamas Piker special and glazing terrorists. XQC is calling out Hasan again. Ethan is calling out Denims for being extremely creepy and weird. iDubbbz has officially turned into a bread tuber, joining the rank.
Let me be clear about this. Denim, she's hot enough, she'll just do that.
Of the Hasan orbiters. Apparently he wants to box again and suffer even more brain damage. Subscribe for absolute cinema. Bring it home, Jellywig.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin with Hasan calling out Mudahar for only donating $200,000 to charity. Hasan dono shames Mudahar for giving away 200K during COVID. 200 grand is tiny.
Like during COVID, I probably gave away $200,000 of charity, and it was like out of my personal accounts. I don't write any of this off for taxes because I don't believe in writing off charity for taxes. I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Writing off charitable donations is a shitty thing to do. How? Why? All that means is that the money you donated is tax exempt, but you don't understand.
200 grand is tiny, by the way. I'm just saying. For all these guys, again, another thing I don't fucking regularly boast about is my charitable contributions.
And
yeah, guys, 200 grand is tiny. Now, correct me if
200 grand would be like a godsend for a lot of people right now.
I'm wrong. The average American salary is like 50 to 60K a year, so that's like 4 times that. I think that would be an insane amount of money, you absolute out of touch loser. Of course, the multi-millionaire socialist, always trying to brag about his wealth, thinks that
I don't understand how someone who makes millions of dollars, who came from a well-off family, becomes a socialist. I don't get it. They don't understand people that go through things. They don't have that. Oh boy, I'll never get it.
200 grand is tiny. You know, I was wondering a while back, where did Froggen get the idea
He just had to hit us with the flashbang.
that 10K is actually chump change, right? Because when Ludwig donated to Palestine, he donated 10K, and Froggen was like, oh, keep your chump change.
Keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000. Keep your little chump change. Like,
It seems like she got the idea from her Lord and Savior, Hasan, of course. And my question is for Mr. Hamas Piker, how much have you donated? All right, and your community does not count, right? So basically, if you guys are not aware of Hasan's method of operation, basically he will do a stream, right? And he'll get his unemployed reject fans to give their last $5 to this charity or whatever. He will not, you know, donate himself, and then he says, oh guys, I raised 200 grand or whatever, right? And the fact is, you didn't do shit. You just begged people poorer than you to donate, all right? So this multi-millionaire socialist grifter shaming 200K to charity, which is a very insane amount of money, is just absolutely crazy, right? And I just love how he says, I don't ever boast about my charity, but I also do a lot of charity, guys. And I have a sneaking suspicion why Hasan does not show his charity publicly or whatever, if he even does it, is because he doesn't want to get pocket watched. You know, people will be like, oh, well, you're worth like 15, 20 mil. Why are you only donating this? Which is basically what he's doing to Mudahar here. That 50K he put into his Palestine fundraiser is much tinier if we go by this out of touch regards logic. Listen, if you're donating even a cent to charity or whatever to help other people, you know, props to you. You know, you're doing a good job or whatever. But then don't you know, pocket watch these other people, especially when they're, you know, donating a pretty substantial amount. And I just don't understand his logic here, because if you're gonna call out Muda, then you have to call out Dan Clancy, because last I checked, Dan Clancy donated $1,000 to Team Water, which I think is, you know, perfectly fine or whatever. But, you know, everybody else in the call donated like 100K and people were calling him out for it or whatever, right? So if you're gonna keep that same consistency, you need to go after him as well. But of course you won't, because he's your little Diddy party enjoyer, of course. Turek is asking, how much money has Hasan Piker donated of his own money? Has donated at least 70,000 of his own money. Holy frick, I'm sorry, Hasan is a minimum 15 million sitting in a bank account. His audience donates for him and he takes the credit while donating minute amounts of money. He's such a roach. Yeah, Hasan donates for the tax write-off, which again isn't very leftist of him, trying not to pay as much in taxes. If Hasan had any conviction to stand by what he says that Ethan's wife should have refused to join the IDF and just gone to jail, right? So Hasan should refuse to pay taxes, which is funding, you know, Israel, and yeah, just
believe
go
that's
to jail
true.
Because, you know, fight for what you believe in.
His wife
right?
was
But of
never
course
part of
he's
the
not gonna do
IDF.
that, because he's a fucking fraud. Of course, that's small to him. It's how much he spends on ugly clothes and tacky trinkets per week, dude. Honestly, like, Hasan is spending so much money on his, like, fucking mansion, his supercars and shit like that. So it's like, I don't know. It's just not very socialist of you. Keep in mind, this guy also claims to live on a basic necessity budget. I mean, by that logic, you need to donate 99% of your incomes because you can live off of 1%. Anyways, moving on to Hasan begging his community to create positive clips about him, because I assume he's been seeing so many negative clips going viral and he's really concerned about his PR. Hasan talks about improving his PR and his responsibility to the kids watching him. You can't be serious, bro. You know, you're teaching them a lot. You're teaching them to grow up and become terrorist supporters.
I'm curious if he's following the new acts that are in place for kids, because YouTube has it and they enforce it like crazy. Well, no, they don't enforce it like crazy. I take that back. YouTube has it, Twitch has it, and I'm just a little bit like, neither one of those platforms enforces their TOS equally among everyone. So it's possible kids shouldn't even be watching his stream, like, at all.
You know, or, you know, if since you glaze them so much, maybe actual terrorists.
It's a reminder when I see like a lot of young people watching me. It's another reminder that, like, I mean, I take what I do very seriously in terms of like giving a alternative perspective to people that they never really frequent, they never really see. So it's a lot better that they get their news from me than, you know, than get into like the brain rot content, I think. So that's something I got to work on as well.
We don't have to,
you know, something I got to actively push back against, like with all the clippers. I still don't know how. I still haven't been able to figure out. I guess like with overwhelming force, we just need to do positive clip PR to just like counterbalance all of the negative clip PR that comes from like numerous communities that I've gotten, numerous communities that I've like beefed with. You got to do more collab stuff, I fear, like streamer games. Yeah, I do have to do more collab stuff for sure.
Right, so Streamer Games is Ludwig's event, by the way. And listen up, Jellywig, I know you're watching. If you win,
Why does he call him Jellywig?
We're gonna have some problems, all right? You got a rare W after
because he was
out
wearing
Ida.
that hat.
Let us keep it that way, okay? Ludwig is slowly gaining favor back into the community, all right? You don't want to slip back to rock bottom. If I see those two in the same room, I swear to God, I'm gonna crash out. Do not let this lead.
I'm gonna crash out.
Try to ingrain himself in more communities. Also, what he means by providing people an alternate perspective is the perspective of supporting terrorists. All right, it's a very alternate perspective, guys. It's like when the entirety of civilization and society is like, well, PDF files are bad, and then Hasan, the absolute revolutionary, the underdog hero, goes, actually, guys, I do support PDF files. Like, thanks, bro. Thanks for your very.
Oh no, you don't.
Opinion.
I know what you're aiming for. You're trying to grab that plastic.
He's like some sort of big brain over here. Like, I'm giving the opinion that nobody else has got. Yeah, because it.
The day Patrick Starr becomes super smart is the day the world flips upside down.
It's a fucking stupid opinion. He also talks about how they're watching like brain rot content. I don't know who he's referring to. I guess slop tubers again. Like if you're watching Hasan, I'm pretty sure you're getting a little more brain rotted than any of my videos, okay? At least there's a little bit of logic here. And how pathetic it is that even as the biggest leftist streamer, you have to manufacture artificial like PR. He's saying to create overwhelmingly, you know, fucking positive clips of PR. How about you just stop saying dumb shit so you can't get clipped and ruin your reputation? Like I got like fucking 20 clips each video, dog, and it's been like 100 episodes. Just before this, you were
That's a lot of slop
someone
too.
for donating 200k, dog, and this isn't like 100 millionaire. For Muda, even 200k, I imagine, is still a decent chunk of money. I'm a positive person, 10 toes down. 9/11 was deserved. Regard. He's so desperate for respect yet doesn't do any of the work for it. He has to deal with an audience of literal regarded children who don't know anything because that's the only group he can convince he isn't a hip.
There was some videos going around about some weird leftist people. There was a lady literally on welfare in a scooter riding around, or it was a electric wheelchair, and she has a dude on a leash and another guy on a leash with Elon Musk masks, an Elon Musk mask and a Trump mask, and dressed in outfits, and dragging them along on her scooter. These are the people that cater to Hasan. And here's the worst one I ever saw. There was a large gathering of, I guess, unique people, and they were shown a picture between a Caucasian woman and a Osama bin Laden. And when they walk up to each of these people, they were asking them, hey, who would you pick? And they all pointed to Osama bin Laden, because they said he wouldn't take away their rights. Every single one of them said the same thing. They said Osama bin Laden would not take away their rights. I was like, is this where society's fallen to? That they actually believe this? Yeah, they do. They do believe this.
Hypocrite and a moron. Right, so after this, he justifies Russia's invasion of Ukraine and then does the unthinkable. He defends Hamas terrorists again. You just can't make this shit up, dude. This is like the 500th time, bro. Give us a different presentation for once. Hasan explains how the Ukraine and Palestine situations are different.
Russia is waging this war in their minds, in their estimation, in the estimation of the third world, at the behest of everyone that has been fucked over by American imperialism. Well,
oh boy, that's a tough nut to crack, but I'll take a shot at it. Hasan, let me tell you what's really going on here. The reason for the Ukrainian-Russian war started back in 2014. And it begins with the fact that Ukraine wanted to become a part of NATO. Russia did not like this. They did not want Ukraine as a part of NATO. And Russia, being Russia, wanted to win. Putin, being Putin, lacked common sense that this isn't World War II anymore. We're in modern warfare, where it's all about stealth and logistics. And he went back to World War II tactics, similar to the Soviet Union, with meat shields and throw as much heavy armament as you can at it, which did not work. His 3-day special operation has now become a nearly 4-year operation. 3 days equals 4 years. And to be very clear about this, the situation going on between Ukraine and Russia is multifaceted, and it's much deeper than just simply Western imperialism breaking through with Ukraine. It's much deeper than that, and it just goes back to one thing: Russia just cannot keep their hands off things that they think belong to them, which don't. A country annexed from you. They don't want to be a part of you. Why do you keep pushing it? It's like China with Taiwan. They just keep wanting to take something back that wasn't theirs to take.
While Russia is engaging in irredentist acts that are unconscionable and unjust and violent and totally immoral, that is the analysis that the rest of the countries around the globe are looking at. That is what.
But Ukraine has captured POWs from Russia, multiple POWs. I'm not talking just a few dozen, I'm talking thousands. And they've surrendered or given up, gotten taken in by Ukraine, been treated well, not tortured, not killed. But Russia, every time they capture Ukrainians, they either shoot them or behead them. They've been doing this. Russia has taken barely any, if none, of Ukraine's soldiers as POWs. They've been executing them on site. Because that's how bad this war's going for Putin and how angry the Russians are. But their anger is directed in the wrong place. It needs to be redirected at Moscow.
What they're looking at. They're looking at Ukraine as an extension of the West, and they're looking at, you sound like Israel asking Hamas why they won't just agree to a ceasefire. What do you mean? Hamas has put forward a fucking million ceasefire proposals. Israel's the one who fucked them. No, your analysis is fucking busted here. This is, of course, also completely, you have to be completely oblivious to the fucking conditions on the ground, and not only the conditions on the ground, but
Hamas has not put forward ceasefires because the U.S. has constantly and consistently stepped back and said no more, and then Hamas goes, we fire at your boats. I mean, they even tried to cut an internet cable, which actually wouldn't have affected us at all. It would have affected them. So their intelligence was very low.
but also who America is funding in this situation.
Yes, how could I be so stupid, guys? The terrorists are the good guys, of course. They're the ones trying to negotiate properly. I Hamas Piker, believe everything the terrorists say 100% of the time. I've never seen a criminal piece of shit lie ever in my entire life, actually. I automatically believe everything, and they have the best of intentions, obviously. Fucking idiot, dude. Why can't you be normal and criticize Israel without glazing Hamas? Is that so hard for you? Is that like whole?
Yeah, Israel's attacks on Gaza are a little, not a little, they've been way too heavy-handed. Because if they can precision strike in Iran and do what they did multiple times, even with Hamas as well, there's no reason why they couldn't have done that with Gaza. But everyone's talking about they're fighting insurgents. I'm like, I get that. They don't have the intel to where these guys are located because they're hiding underneath the places where the civilians live. But part of the Gaza situation is the ones that were running the Gaza Strip were taking the money that they were given and supplies and just supplying it towards terrorist acts. They don't even have functioning water out there or taking care of their citizens. It's always like this with these Middle Eastern groups over and over and over. It's always the West's fault. It's never us. It's always the West. West, 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 West. Okay. Say we pull out. Say there's no more Western influence in the Middle East and we just all stick to our own countries for about 20 years. I will guarantee you the Middle East will still be at war with itself. They just will. They cannot help themselves because their ideologies are so based in religion that they will just keep trying to kill themselves and killing each other. It's just what they do over and over and over. Tribal warfare, ideologies, they don't care. If you differ from a different tribe, that tribe's an enemy, must kill tribe. It's endlessly over and over with the Middle East. I've been seeing it since the 90s. Always on the news about the Middle East, about Israel, about Pakistan, about Iran, about Iraq, about freaking Saudi Arabia. Over and over about everybody killing each other over stupid religion. Man,
Holy shit, man. You're like SpongeBob in that episode trying to gasp for like water, and you're like, I need it. I need to glaze the terrorists. Bro is choking on that terrorist lung, bro. It is so deep. So deep. This is coming from the same bald idiot who said Russia wouldn't invade Ukraine. Anyways, Asman responded, he calls out Hamas.
Asking Hamas why they won't just agree to a ceasefire. What do you mean? Hamas has put forward a fucking million ceasefire proposals. Israel's the one who f***ed them. And not only the conditions of the ground, but also
defending Hamas. Yeah, Hamas are terrorist murderers that kill their own people. And they starve their own people too. They're disgusting. Yeah, I mean, the world is, as soon as Hamas is removed, the world will become a better place. Do you know who else agrees with me on this? Saudi Arabia. They're terrorist, religious, extremist, fanatic, psycho murderers. Terrorists do that? Yeah. You can't look at what they're doing or saying. Yeah, it's insane. Some haven't released the hostages. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I just don't know how Hasan really sits there defending the most horrific people on planet Earth, right?
Let me verify something. Let's see. So they have attempted ceasefires. But what are they asking for? Demand for permanent ceasefire. Hamas has consistently sought a permanent end to hostilities, unlike Israel, which has favored temporary pauses or ceasefires followed by reassumption of its military operations against Hamas. Complete withdrawal of Israeli forces. Hamas has also demanded complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip. Okay, so this is probably why these ceasefires that Hamas is offering, because this is the problem I have with Hasan's argument with Hamas. They're not too far removed in terms of names, but is the issue with the Gaza Strip. Hamas is demanding Israel stops attacking there, even though they're a world away. But at the exact same time, they're making a demand that's so outrageous, it doesn't fit anywhere with Israel. The thing about ceasefires is, you can't make over demands. Russia's done this countless times with the multiple ceasefire attempts that Trump has tried to negotiate with Putin. They send a representative and they put these ridiculous expectations in this ceasefire and say, this is what we want. And if you say no to any of it, they leave the room. That's what you're getting with this. What they're asking for is crazy. Hamas has called for a significant increase in the amount of humanitarian aid allowed into Gaza, including the north. Okay, this right here, the increased humanitarian aid, the U.S. has been doing this. They've been dropping it in. The problem is, here's what's been going on. The terrorist groups within Gaza are using the dropped aid as target practice to attack the people that are dropping it in. So the civilians that they have can't get to it. Prisoner exchange. Right here. The prisoner exchanges are never equal because Hamas proposals have included the release of Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails. I'm betting, and this is just me, that the hostages that they're offering, one hostage, give us 5 prisoners. I'm betting it's something along those lines. Guarantees from the USA. Hamas has sought guarantees from the USA that negotiations for an end to the war would begin immediately and that Israel military operations would not resume if the ceasefire ended without a permanent truce. The problem is they're asking Israel to stop bombing Gaza. Israel's goal is complete and total annihilation because they're done. They're tired of the crap that's been happening with the Gaza Strip, with them coming in, ambushing people, killing them, running way back to Gaza, rinse and repeat over and over. Israel is done with it. This is one of the reasons why they're not going to stop. And when Hamas is demanding that they stop, it's not going to happen. Hamas doesn't have the ability to back that up. This is like Iran when it puts out its arms and flexes as hard as it possibly can and pumps out its chest and says, we will retaliate. They can't. They haven't been able to. Israel has unilaterally crippled Iran and unilaterally crippled Hamas, and they can't do anything about it. War, and a lot of people will go, war is not about being morally correct. It's about either one side surrenders or the other side is completely annihilated. That's it. And the situation with here is Hamas is just like Russia. They're making way too high of demands for ceasefire agreements that don't benefit, that only benefit them, but don't benefit Israel. It's the same thing with Ukraine. Russia wants Ukraine to give up a whole bunch of territory, a bunch of all this and all that in their ceasefire agreements. These don't work. When they make outrageous demands, it's just not going to happen. And Israel's not going to quit because they're winning. They're winning. Iran can't stop them. Hamas and the Houthis are not going to stop them. So what are they expecting? So Hasan is right. Yes, Hamas has put forth multiple proposals over time with Israel and the United States. The problem is they're outrageous. Asking them to withdraw Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip just to let the terrorists rearm so they can go back and just do the same thing again. It's like a rinse and repeat. It's just like the war with Afghanistan, where they kept going into Pakistan, leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back, every single time bringing new troops in. These situations are not going to be resolved through any more discussion, no more peace agreements, nothing. At some point, we just have to wipe out the other side and let the other side prosper, because we're just reaching this point where the Middle East is just pure chaos. It's impossible to make everyone happy with anything because they all just want to kill each other. That's it.
Right? These are like unanimously agreed by the entirety of humanity that they are absolute degenerate freaks, except Hasan. Hasan is the one intellectual. He's apparently just 1,000 years ahead of all of us, right? He's the forgotten mad scientist of this generation, right? Honestly, Hasan, I think you should take a flight to Gaza. They just walk in, Hamas is gonna welcome you with open arms. They might even appoint you as their leader at this point. The propaganda is just crazy. According to Hasan here, Hamas, the literal death cult, wants peace, guys. They're the reasonable ones here. Please just listen to them. Yes. The expert political opinion and genius analysis by one Hamas piker again. And this guy really wonders, every day, sitting there on stream with his dumbass chat, and he goes, "But why do people hate me, guys? Why do they think I'm bad? Why is my PR so bad?" I mean, if anybody asks that, just point them to the series, point them to these clips. The fact that he still thinks that he's welcome in all these random gaming communities in the streamer world and everything is just crazy to me. And the fact that he hasn't been completely blacklisted is even crazier to me, because are these people blind? Are they do they support this? There's a lot of questions here, right? So
They do. They do support this. I've already presented proof of this when I've seen actual videos on YouTube Shorts with people in a group of LGBTQ plus whatever community literally being asked Caucasian female or Osama bin Laden. And they all picked Osama bin Laden. Whether it was out of just being sarcastic, they all did it. And they all said the exact same thing. He won't take away our rights. This is how delusional these people are. They don't know.
then Asmon talks about Hasan's logic, right? Whenever evaluating any situation, it's basically whatever is anti-American, whatever makes America suffer the most, whatever is the opposite side of America, he will support.
I think that Hasan looks at pretty much every geopolitical conflict as in, I think he looks at it through the lens of,
I think he looks at it through the lens that USA bad. They do all wrong. They do it all. They're the reason why it's happening. But they're not. The Middle East has been at war before the United States even came into existence. The United States is 200 plus years old and in no way, shape, or form existed before the Middle East did. As a legitimate government and country. And they're telling us we're the cause of the Middle East's problems? Are you kidding? They've been doing this for generations before. Thousands of years, man. And it hasn't stopped.
Of is this the side with or against Western American interests? And he generally chooses the opposite side. I think that's like he has a reactionary opinion on pretty much every geopolitical issue, it seems. Right? Every single time that there is like a foreign country that has some sort of regressive or reductive worldview, or a foreign country that's doing something problematic, somehow it's always the United States' fault. And so that's really, and again, if you guys don't believe me, just wait for the next one to happen, and you'll probably see this be proven true. Yeah, basically anything, whatever is against the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it seems.
I'm going to bust out something I don't do very often. Let's do this. $249 years old. Now I'm going to do this. Thousands of years. The Middle East has a long and complex history of conflict, with various sources estimate periods of war spanning thousands of years. This is not some joke. Hasan blames the United States for every issue going on with the Middle East, and he'll do it all the way back till the end of time, when it's just not true. Before we even came into existence as a country, the Middle East has been at each other's throats over religion for years. It was before our time. We're merely the latest in a group of whatever to go into the Middle East and stick our nose into it. That's it. That's all it is. Sticking our nose into it. It's been way too long. You cannot blame the United States for every issue going on around the world when half the issues that have been going on have literally been going on for thousands of years before the United States was even a thought in someone's brain. Oh, Hasan.
Like that is exactly Hasan's way of thinking. If you boil it down to a science, if you wanted to get like 99% of Hasan's takes before they happen, just look at the side that is beefing with America, I guess, and he will support them, right? And I feel like America is one of the only countries that actually allows this shit, because, you know, if I was the leader, you know, I would fucking toss.
I don't think More Pegasus is quite familiar with the Supreme Court's ruling on free speech. You are allowed to say whatever you want as long as you're not invoking acts of terrorism, treason against your country, or threatening defamation or slander. They made it quite clear. It's a big, long ruling, but the simple cliff notes are: don't say something about enacting revolution against your own country. Hasan has come close to that line, but it depends on how much the federal government would actually want to prosecute him for it, and if they could. Because if he's inciting violence against the country he lives in, that's treason. He can get in trouble for that. But again, it comes down to what Attorney General in the U.S. Department of Justice would do to prosecute him. Would they do it?
This guy in prison, all right? Like, because he's doing actual harm.
And I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say toss him in prison. I'll see comments on YouTube, Twitch, and other places that say this person caused this accident. They need to be in jail immediately. Not in the United States. I'm sorry. We are over incarcerated. If it's not a crime of malicious intent, it should not be prosecuted and throw them in jail and waste the taxpayers' time. We're already overcrowded. We already got a broken jail system. We need time to fix it before we can even think of prosecuting half these people everyone's asking for to be prosecuted.
Your harm in your country, constantly supporting people that want a lot of innocent people dead, including Americans as well, right? I don't know, I started off thinking he's just like this ill-informed guy, just a stupid guy, but slowly, as I see more and more clips, I feel
the fact that he was at some of these protests does make him an accomplice to any vandalism they might have caused, is the truth.
like he's just straight up evil, bro. This guy is like an actual menace to the world. Then Hasan talks about how the only reason people don't like him is because they watch like out of context clips about him, and if they watched his entire long form streams, then they would love him, then they would come to understand him, of course. Asmund doesn't think watching Hasan in long form content helps his case, points to the Ethan debate, also denies Destiny moving him in the pro-Israel direction.
On QAnon for a motherfucking Twitch streamer, dude.
What is he talking about?
There is a reason why so many of these people never actually take the next step, take the next leap, and actually come in here and see what I have to say without any sort of,
Well, I'd like to see Hasan join Asmongold, Tectone, and a few others in an open debate chat where they avoid, well, I don't think you could have Tectone there. His language would be unfiltered and uncontrolled, so no Tectone. Asmongold, maybe Destiny, but he's a little like Tectone with the unfiltered. I don't know. Maybe just have Asmongold and Hasan do a collaboration live stream where they talk to each other and discuss points and see who's right and who's wrong and see how well they do. I mean, that's one of the ways you can do it, just to settle the score.
without any sort of fucking guardrails. Okay? They can't entertain it. Because if they did, if they actually questioned,
people sat and they watched the entire Ethan Klein debate, and that didn't help. That didn't help Hasan at all. Like I don't even get this.
Their intellectual grandfather here.
Yeah, the last time that everybody watched a full long form Hasan debate conversation was the Ethan one, and
I mean, he did do the one against the dude from the UK who, I forget what his name is, but he does a lot of broadcasts and he debates people on subjects.
Overwhelmingly, a lot of people were against him.
It was a fucking sex pest. They would find out that he's just been lying to them for fucking years.
Wow.
Nonstop.
Wow.
It's okay. History has and will continue to vindicate me.
I don't know about that. Hasan thinks Destiny led content creators down the pro-Israel. It's just like this is you want to talk about QAnon? This is the most QAnon shit I've ever heard. I'm not even pro-Israel. I didn't listen to Destiny about Israel-Palestine to begin with. And it's like neither of these things are even true. It's not even real.
You know, I've always said this. I say this in all my videos. I give everyone a free pass. Go watch Hasan. Go watch his 10-hour streams. Come to your own conclusions. Now, and if you make it, if you survive, you know, which you probably won't, you'll be lobotomized by then. You know, come back and let me know how it goes, right? And I guarantee you will end up disliking him more because then you will have an even...
Fun fact, this is why I don't go on Twitter. And I don't include Twitter in my live streams. I use Twitter as a business platform, and that's it. I don't use it for anything else.
Better idea of who this actual freak is. And is it just a coincidence that in any long form debate ever, Hasan gets absolutely obliterated, whether it be...
I don't know about that. He did good against the guy in Britain. I saw that debate years ago. But he had a debate with that guy, and he had great talking points and did pretty well. So I can't sit there and say Hasan's a terrible debater. It's just, it depends on how much research he wants to do the night before to self-prepare himself. I doubt it's Ben Shapiro levels of in deep depth dive where he'll prepare for a debate and just really just sink into it. It's like a football player like Tom Brady studying film or Peyton Manning studying film. How much are you going to prepare?
Ethan or anyone else. He just cannot stand on business when he is confronted on his constant lies, right? When Ethan was confronting him about everything, he just had the no response. He just called him a racist piece of shit, which is ironic, obviously. And I love how he keeps trying to say that Asman is like pro-Israel or whatever. It's just straight up lying at this point. Like, you know his opinions. He's criticized Israel a ton. He literally says the US should not get involved at all. He just doesn't support Hamas as well, unlike you. Once again, nuance is just not in his dictionary as well. If you criticize Hamas, automatically Hasan will think you're an Israel dick rider. All Hasan's views must be from clankers and wiredbacks. I refuse to believe real people are watching his channel. Yeah, well, humanity does have the lowest of the low. Anyways, moving on to XQC. He's once again calling out Hasan and everybody else. XQC throws shots at Hasan, says he's the most brain dead of them all, purposely using MAGA tactics.
Middle will do it.
Dude, the right is brain dead. Everybody's brain dead. Everything policy is brain dead.
Every time I hear XQC, it's hard. His English, it's not his native language. He knows it, but his accent is so strong. Is when he talks, it overrides the English and kind of brings out his foreign language. Brain dead. And I'm like,
that is brain dead. Asmongold's brain dead. But the brain dead
XQC calling Asmongold brain dead? In what form? I'm confused.
of the year goes to Hasan. I am pulling the ripcord. Hasan is brain dead. He says the most wildest shit, but never
Hasan. His accent is really strong.
applies to him. It's diabolical, brother.
Actually, the word
I preferred him with his blonde hair. Now that he's got the dark hair, I could tell he's in his evil phase. So XQC's entered the evil phase. Once he dyes it all back blonde, he'll be back in angel phase.
is diabolical. But yes, he's cooking. I'll let him continue here.
I think that since he's back against the wall these days, he actually knows for a fact he's doing it. But he's like, dude, the right does this, so I'm gonna do it. Start doing it too. Acting like we don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Acting like we don't see the mindset. It's obvious he's swapped and he's going to like last ditch effort tactics because he's back against the wall. It's not crazy. It's the most obvious thing we've seen ever. He's mad that people. I found the Azantard. You're hating at his success.
You're hating at his success. Ha 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 ha. XQC is very successful. Asmongold, very successful. Hasan's been successful, but just because you're successful doesn't mean you're not wrong.
Hasan chatter, when they leave their echo chamber, bro, nobody cares that he is successful. I highly doubt XQC cares. Bro is chilling. He got his $100 million deal that Hasan was also conveniently malding about, obviously. Also completely unrelated, but XQC kind of reminds me
that's
of
right.
like a
He went to
RuneScape
kick.
goblin.
Or was it
Not in
Rumble?
like a rude way, just sort of like an endearing way. It's sort of like nostalgic. But anyways, then he talks about Hasan losing to Asmongold in every single argument ever.
Hasan sits there on Mr. Chair every fucking day, okay? And he mauls that he lost to a cockroach. He calls him cockroach. He calls Asman cockroach. Says, yo, this cockroach. And he loses to cockroach every single day. To
XQC, you sit in a chair too, my friend.
365 days of a year, he loses to cockroach. Yes, they didn't just take it. Yes, just take it. He actually lost about the cockroach, man. That's crazy.
Deriving their opinions from it.
That has been f***ed over by American imperialism.
If Hasan hates America so much, chat, guys, wasn't he just move low key, buddy?
This is what we say to all these people. If you hate us so much, if you hate the country that you've gotten the ability and privilege to live in, move somewhere else. Why are you here? Oh, right. The ones complaining are too poor to move. That's the problem. Hasan could move. He can afford it.
You can go anywhere you want. You're rich enough. You can move anywhere you want.
I mean, that is pretty embarrassing, but another XQCW take. A lot of people have been asking for, you know, subtitles. You don't understand him. Brother, the subtitle feature does not work for this man. All right, and I am not doing that shit manually. You gotta lock in, you know, hyper glaze your auditory canals. Try to decipher this ancient hieroglyphic Egyptian nonsense here. But anyways, whatever he's saying, he's cooking. All right, he's cooking. At least what I got from that. Batman says, but it was
Oh man. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I can back it. It sounds like the Tasmanian devil.
moving on to Ethan versus Denims. Basically, if you remember, Ethan called out Denims for being extremely creepy, defending Ava Chris Tyson for, you know, their PDF file type behavior.
I don't even know who that is. That's just how little I pay attention to some things. I don't know who half these people are that they describe.
You know, buying all that sus art, putting it on the bedroom wall. Ava was defending it, being like, well, it doesn't look like a child. It was definitely looking like a child, right? Also, in the past, he went over some of Denims' art, right? And I didn't show it in my video because that's some fucking weird shit, but she was drawing minors and, you know, a lot of weird positions and shit going on. Not stuff grown people should be participating in at all. So he dropped this creepy edit here. Ethan throws shots at Denims in latest Instagram stories, takes it back to the time she defended Ava Tyson, also drops a Denims marionette puppet edit.
I don't know, it's not that creepy. Chucky was creepier.
Oh my god, bro. I cannot unsee that. That is some creepy shit, bro. I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night. Holy shit. That's gonna haunt my nightmares for the next 15 centuries, dog. Holy, I need to stop covering Denims. Oh my god. Right, so anyways, he also posted this on his Instagram. Denims defends lol. Denims draws lol. Denims PDF baits on OnlyFans. What do we think, folks? And then we got Denims here, you know, just, I guess, sitting there. And there's a bunch of, like, teddy bears, sort of implying that she's, like, a little girl or whatever. And this is in, like, a sexualized context, so it's just really weird. I covered.
How is this weird? If you've been to Japan, Japanese girls dress like this all the time. And they're like 20 plus years old. And I see people go, whoa, that's amazing pictures. I love those. Those are hot. And this is a problem? I don't know.
Her feed, you need to pay her to see the goods. That's a free fair use lesson for you, Denims. Okay, yeah, a little quick jab there at the copyright lawsuit, of course. Yeah, honestly, I think this type of stuff is really creepy. Obviously, I don't know the full contents of the OnlyFans, but I think it's really weird if you're like a grown-ass adult and, you know, you're trying to sell your pictures and you're specifically trying to appeal to like PDF files, but presenting yourself in this sort of little girl context, you know, surrounding yourself by these.
Go watch anime, my friend. You haven't even seen the half of it.
Little teddy bears, you know, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what her intent was behind that, but that's how people are interpreting it. Oh my god, we got the ultimate simp. The irony drips like Folly's finest elixir. Beyond the PDF file drivel if it holds water, Ethan's crusade seems only to polish Denim's allure in the eyes of the masses. You mean in the eyes of PDF? Bro, like, what are you even talking about? Listen, Denims is a full-grown woman. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying it's a bit weird. What the frick? I love Denims now. What are these people, man, on Twitter? Ethan would give his left nut for just one snip. He has a wife and family. Like, what? You guys are so...
Yeah. They are something special. He has a wife and kids.
Fucking weird. So Ethan also dropped a Hasan Denims puppet meme. Oh my god. So we got Hasan here, you know, and his I guess this is like a ventriloquist dummy. And then we got Denims. I mean,
I can tell he's never seen Jeff Dunham. From the sounds of it. This is a Jeff Dunham, and that's the old man. I forget what his name is. But he is hilarious.
Hasan's puppets, I mean, it doesn't really have the same ring as the Hasan orbiters, but I'd say it's pretty creative. It's pretty creative here. She looks as creepy as hell. I can't imagine how much Ethan is thankful for banning the Hasan community. He seems to be living his best life because of it. I think he's enjoying this a little too much, not gonna lie. So somebody responded here, this is sexual harassment. Ethan Klein is sexually harassing the woman he's suing, and I hope Denims and her lawyers understand that. They need to let the courts know. Yeah, your name is Male Slayer. Yeah, that's a very reasonable person right there. By the way, yeah, this argument is just not going to hold up in court. I don't think you know the definition of SA or, harassment of this kind at all. He's just pointing out that Denims is being very creepy here. It's an opinion, right? He didn't say any facts here or anything like that. But anyways, if you notice, Taylor Lorenz, the absolute #1 simp journalist who is glazing Hasan all the time. Play the clip, play the clip.
The other thing with Hasan, he's unreasonably good looking and like cool and dresses cool.
Tell me about it.
But do you know what I mean? Like Hasan would be an influencer no matter what he was saying, because he is
hot,
very attractive and very cool and genuinely a good person too. I will say, like, Hasan is actually a cool, fun, good person.
So anyways, Ethan responded, every time Taylor Lorenz retweets something like this, I know that she's quietly seething. She wants to talk shit so bad, but she's too big of a liar, hypocrite, coward to not get caught out immediately. Basically, if you're like reposting this, this is like a tactic they use where they don't want to explicitly say it or deal with the backlash of saying it themselves. So they just retweet somebody and
look at her head. Anybody whose head moves like that is not someone that has a steady head on their shoulders.
basically signal.
And I don't mean figuratively.
And
I mean literally.
Do this as well, right? With that Gato person or anybody who is, talking shit on Ethan or whatever, he would like signal boost them, talk about them, show their videos like Bad Empanada, but he's also like keeps an arm's length distance, being like, well, actually, I don't support them, guys, when you clearly do and you're promoting them and everything like that, right? Ethan also dropped this making fun of Hasan. Meanwhile, over at Twitch TV, all the food in Gaza, it's even longer, but max is 1 minute for stories. And it's basically Hasan over here, not even there, You would think after the copyright lawsuit, he would learn, but again, apparently these people are never going to sue him. Obviously, they're on the same side here. But yeah, classic, just using somebody else's content here, giving no commentary. He's not there for a minute, even longer than a minute. Classic, man. I don't do that anymore, Hasan Piker. Nah, he needs to keep his viewers while he's taking a shit or peeing or something. Gotta give a chair a medal for doing all that reacting for free. I'd argue it is more transformative with the chair. It has more intelligent commentary, of course. And the legendary meme, live Hasan reaction, of course. Anyways, moving on to iDubbbz. Apparently, he's officially become
How much time do you give iDubbbz?
Which is like, in the Hasan Orbiter community. Basically,
about 5
person
minutes.
who makes YouTube videos like Noah Samson there, right? And he's basically trying to speak on politics again, which nobody really gives a fuck about iDubbbz's opinion on politics, right? He's not knowledgeable on any of this. He could barely navigate a YouTube drama, right? So he's talking about other countries here, not even the US, which makes it 10 times worse. I'm loving the iDubbbz BreadTube arc.
Trying to get people to think about in the video is like, why are, like the Scottish kid, he would say, you don't want Europe to become like this, and would just generally just like say, this is third world. You don't want Europe to become third world, do you? And it's like, well, number one, you have to automatically be making some assumptions that the third world is necessarily like shitty.
Yeah, I mean, is anybody actually...
That's why it's called third world. It's called that because it's technologically behind a first world country. That's why it's called a third world. They don't have the same technological advancements and special things that we do as a first world. That's why they call it third world.
Surprised that iDubbbz is descending into politics content. I mean, it's pretty obvious considering he was so obsessed with Hasan and his community. And I feel like it's really pathetic because even this surface level evaluation is so bad. Obviously, I'm not going to get into politics. I like to, be apolitical here. And obviously, I don't know much about it. I'm not going to pretend I do like iDubbbz here. But just going by some basic definitions. Now, third world, from what I understand, sometimes it's used as a like pejorative or whatever. But It's like a factual description of places with like lower economic, you know, circumstances and living conditions and stuff like that. So basically it's referring to like developing countries or low and middle income countries. And I think if someone's living standards are bad, generally they're not gonna like the place as much, and you can ask the people that live there as well and they will agree with you, right? So this is not some sort of a racist opinion or anything like that. Now, of course, there's a lot of nuance to this, but iDubbbz would know none of it, living in fucking America and not having any knowledge about any of this. He used to be a fucking like commentary YouTuber, right? Right, so then he talks about Italy and like immigration or whatever.
There's a wide variety of markets in Italy, from what I've seen, as someone who hasn't even been there. But it's like it.
Wow. Then I guess we should take your opinion on that. That's really good to know.
Is like, you just can't do that. You can't go to a random fucking market and turn your camera on and make a claim about the fucking country or about the city that you're in. You can kind of make a claim about the city, maybe, if
Is he talking about Somali here? Like those nuisance tubers? Nuisance streamers, as they're called? Where they go into countries and they cause issues? Like, I'm fine with Japan and South Korea just punishing the crap out of these people. Because, my God. Going over to Japan and naming off the cities that got nuked? Come on. That's just, I swear, dude, twisted.
if that market is actually representative about the city, sure, but it's not. I went to a lot of virtually on GeoGuessr. I've been to a lot of places in Italy.
Right, so I don't know anything about Italy, so again, I'm not going to speak on it and pretend to know anything about it like iDubbbz here, but now it's just starting to make sense.
It's
why
a
iDubbbz
boot.
just loved Hasan and his community.
And it's the place of all the best pastas. Mainly they're not a country primarily dedicated to pasta. Their primary source of food is fish. Seafood. So pasta comes second runner up. But still, they are the holder of pasta. They hold all the major pastas, especially spaghetti. Spaghetti, my favorite.
So much.
If only my stomach would let me still eat it.
A
Jeez.
easy avenue to get into this politics thing, and I think people have their theories, but I don't think iDubbbz was like this. I think this is a little bit of Anissa salt being sprinkled on him again. Chopped off his pee-pee, turned him into Reek here, using him as as her little political puppet here. Advocate for all the causes that she supports or whatever. I feel like politics rots your brain, and was I wrong? Was I wrong? Look at this man and tell me his brain is not rotted, guys. Fucking holy shit, what a perfect example.
Oh, this I also love. This has 2K likes. This was directed at me. Let an undocumented immigrant move in with you. I mean, sure, I guess. I might want to get to know them a little bit first.
Yeah, so this is like
the amount of undocumented immigrants that have committed crimes and been sent back to the countries only to come back again, do it again, get sent back, do it again, get sent back, over and over and over. It's an endless cycle.
the problem. iDubbbz doesn't have the political know-how to combat any of these arguments, right? Unlike somebody who has been doing this for a very long time, so he just automatically loses any argument, and then both sides will just hate him. One side will hate him for being really stupid, and the other side will be like, well, you're not representing my politics correctly, right? So it's just a lose-lose for iDubbbz. I don't know why he's taken this decision here. It just seems like this is residual brain damage from the boxing fight, and in fact, it gave him so much brain damage that he wants to do it again. How stupid can you possibly be?
I would consider that, Elijah. It's one of those things where I don't plan on ever running a boxing event again. So, if there is an opportunity to box in the future, just only worrying about fucking myself would be
Box
great,
Mike Tyson. You
Hey,
want
looking
to.
oily today?
Logan
Holy
Paul did
shit,
that.
dude. What a pathetic man. Oh my god. It's hard to watch at this point. That brain damage really did a number on him. Holy shit, dude. It's like there's nothing there. An absolute pathetic husk of his former self. I mean, I can't believe this guy actually used to be funny. And that was like back when he was my age, I guess. It's like,
He was the
damn,
content
if
cop.
I ever turn into this, please stop watching, bully me off the internet. God damn. Like, I mean, that's never gonna happen. I got a good head on my shoulders, and I'm not susceptible to be influenced by a fucking soul-sucking dementor or whatever the hell happened to him. I don't really know. And I'm not stupid enough to sign up for a boxing fight and get my brain scrambled either. So yeah, hopefully we'll be fine. But yeah, man, it is just crazy, the fall off. Like, this needs to be studied. Here's what people are saying. He's not as good at being a bread tuber without Anissa there feeding him thoughts. Man, just zero logic whatsoever. I'll give him a participation ribbon for his sound impression. This is a castrated man. Oh my god. The humiliation ritual never ends. What a freaking idiot. What a loser. He's so bad at this. Wow. Nobody's agreeing with him. Man, I've been kind of hoping for the Idubbbz redemption arc, but I think he may be too far gone after seeing this. There is no hope. Like, he would have to find the most angel woman ever. Like, the opposite of Anissa. That's the only thing that could possibly save him. But this is real life. This ain't a fucking movie here. So I don't know, man. I think you're cooked. And it was click this video or the Denim's puppet finds you and I guess murders you. I don't know.
More Pegasus. They are actually desperate now. That was a very long, detailed video. I mean, he's had some long ones before, but they were more like Denims and Frogan. All right, guys. I'm going to go and stop the live stream here. For those that stopped down by, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Hey there, everyone. If you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe and comment down below. Thanks again.